Well, you've probably experienced being ghosted, even if you didn't exactly know what the definition was. It's when someone, a friend, a budding partner, or even a family member abruptly cuts off contact with seemingly no reason. It's kind of like a painful cavity in communication. But no fear, Jasna Burza is here with some perspective on healing from being ghosted. Okay, let's talk about the word ghosted. You hear it a lot these days. Explain what that means.
So chances are that you or someone has been ghosted, and ghosting is when someone just stops calling, texting, or responding altogether. They just disappear, and the relationship ends very, very abruptly. I've had it happen twice in my life. And was so incredibly painful. And it is very often a way from the other person to avoid conflict or emotional discomfort, but it does not feel good. We feel angry, sad, and mad, and we feel like we really did something wrong. So I think that there are things that we should talk about, think about, and process to not make this a bigger deal than it is.
Well, I think what happens in my experience is you just go through your mind. What did I do wrong? What did I say wrong? What's wrong with me? And you said that's not a productive route.
It really is not. It's very difficult to do that because that is what we do initially, right? It's like, well, what did I do wrong? Try not to overthink it. If you can do, first and foremost, accept it and practice self-care. So again, we always say, just find ways to center yourself before reacting or acting. Once you realize what has happened, I think it's incredibly important to move on and soothe yourself and try not to make it about you. Don't blame game yourself. Don't shame yourself. Don't go into that rabbit hole because rejection feels so icky. So incredibly important to just kind of soothe yourself around that and try to be like, okay, I got this. I can handle it.
And sometimes too, you're just not gonna know why ever. And you have to live with that.
We really do. Very often, we're not going to know what happened. So if we don't have a way to find closure, why don't you find your own closure? So journal it, write it, right? And write everything, all the emotions, and maybe even write a letter to that person and burn it. That can be very cathartic. You never have to send it. You don't have to get in touch with them. But if you process your own emotions, you don't have to just be stuck with them. There's an expression say, feelings buried alive never die, right? So they're always with us. So it's very important that you find closure on your own because you really truly never know.
And if you do write or text them to kind of tell them what's going on, you have to be able to say, I'm not doing this for a response, I'm doing it for my own closure, right?
Absolutely. So you can do that. So you have to trust your gut instinct. And it's also very important to reflect. Sometimes maybe we have done something to have contributed to the ending of the relationship. And if it keeps happening, I think it's also important to be very honest and say, well, take stock and what could I have done better? Or maybe, or just say simply, I'm sorry, even though you cannot remedy a relationship, and learn from that. And then lastly, look at all the friends that we have. What if we really focus and double down on the beautiful friendships that we do have? And one thing that I have learned, someone really wise said, friendships are like a Broadway play. Some people come and they show up for the first act and reappear in the seventh act. Some people are there just for one act, and some are there for a lifetime. So it's seasons. If we can let them go and trust that we're okay no matter what, and it's part of our life journey, that's a recipe for inner peace.
I like it. I'm feeling the peace. Thank you, Jasna.
Thank you.